What if I told you that Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, discovered two words that could make any woman irresistibly attracted to you? And what if these same two words have been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years? I'm about to share something that completely transformed my relationships with women. Not through manipulation or tricks, but through embodying ancient Stoic wisdom that creates genuine magnetism. Months ago, I was struggling. Good job, decent looks. But women would lose interest after a few dates. I felt like I was missing some crucial element. Then I discovered these two words in Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and everything changed. Within weeks, women started responding to me differently. They'd text first. They'd cancel other plans to see me. They'd tell their friends about me. Not because I became someone else, but because I finally understood what true masculine attraction really is. These aren't pickup lines. These aren't psychological tricks. These are Stoic principles that transform you into the kind of man women naturally crave to bear around. The two words, inner citadel. Let me explain why these words hold the key to unstoppable attraction. The first word, inner. The first word, inner, represents the most attractive quality a man can possess. Complete self-mastery and internal validation. When the ancient Stoics talked about inner work, they meant developing an unshakable core that doesn't depend on external circumstances. Here's what most men get wrong. They try to attract women through external displays, money, status, looks, achievements. But women are constantly evaluating something much deeper, your relationship with yourself. Think about it. When you meet a man who is genuinely comfortable in his own skin, who doesn't need constant validation, who seems complete within himself, there's something magnetic about that energy. Women feel it immediately. I learned this lesson when I was dating Sarah. I used to constantly seek her approval, asking if she liked my outfit, checking if my jokes were funny, analyzing every text for signs of interest. My neediness was suffocating her, even though I didn't realize it. Then I started working on my inner game. Instead of seeking validation from her, I began validating myself based on whether I was living according to my values. Instead of needing her to complete me, I focused on becoming complete within myself. The change was dramatic. She started pursuing me. She'd say things like, "There's something different about you. You seem so centered, so sure of yourself." The Stoic concept of inner work involves several key elements. Self-knowledge, knowing your values, your strengths, your areas for growth. When you understand yourself deeply, you project confidence because there's no internal conflict or uncertainty about who you are. Emotional regulation, managing your internal state regardless of external circumstances. Women are attracted to men who remain calm under pressure, who don't get rattled by minor setbacks, who can maintain their center even when life gets chaotic. Internal validation, measuring your worth by your own standards rather than others' opinions. When you don't need constant reassurance or approval, people feel more relaxed around you because they're not responsible for managing your emotional state. Purpose-driven living, having clear direction and meaning in your life that comes from within. Women are drawn to men who seem to be going somewhere, who have vision and determination that doesn't depend on external validation. When Marcus Aurelius wrote about strengthening the inner self, he understood something profound. External circumstances will always be unpredictable, but your internal state is entirely within your control. Master that, and you become unshakable. Women can sense this inner strength immediately. It shows up in how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you handle challenges, how you treat others. It's not arrogance or ego. It's quiet confidence that comes from genuine self-mastery. The inner work never ends. It's a daily practice of choosing your responses, living according to your values, and building the kind of character that naturally attracts high-quality people into your life. The second word, citadel. The second word, citadel, represents the fortress of unshakable principles and boundaries that make you absolutely irresistible to women. A citadel is a stronghold that cannot be conquered from the outside. When applied to relationships, this concept creates the kind of masculine strength women crave. Most men are like houses built on sand. Their confidence, mood, and behavior shift based on external circumstances. But a man who has built an inner citadel remains steady regardless of what's happening around him. Here's what this looks like in practice. You have clear boundaries that you maintain with kindness, but firmness. You have principles that guide your decisions regardless of social pressure. You have standards for how you treat others and how you allow yourself to be treated. He saw this principle in action with my friend Marcus. Yes, coincidentally, named after Marcus Aurelius. He was dating this woman who would regularly cancel plans at the last minute, expecting him to be available whenever she decided she wanted to see him. The old Marcus would have accepted this behavior, desperate not to lose her. But Marcus had built his inner citadel. He calmly told her, "I understand things come up, but I need someone who respects our plans. If you can't commit to spending time together, we should probably see other people." Her response, she immediately changed her behavior and started prioritizing their relationship. Later she told him, "Most guys would have just complained or gotten angry. The fact that you have clear standards and stick to them makes me want to meet those standards." The Citadel principle works because it demonstrates several attractive qualities. Self-respect. When you have clear boundaries, you show that you value yourself. Women are attracted to men who clearly value themselves because it suggests they'll also value their partner. Reliability. A citadel is constant, unchanging, dependable. When your principles guide your behavior rather than emotions or circumstances, you become someone others can rely on. Leadership citadels are defensive structures that protect what's valuable. When you can protect your own values and standards, women trust that you can also protect and provide for them. Selectivity. A citadel has gates that open for some people and remain closed for others. When you're selective about who you let into your life, it makes that access feel valuable and exclusive. The citadel isn't about being rigid or inflexible. It's about having a core set of non-negotiables that remained constant while being adaptable. About everything else, I built my inner citadel around principles like honesty, respect, growth, and authenticity. These became non-negotiable in all my relationships. If someone couldn't meet these basic standards, they simply couldn't access the deeper parts of who I am. This selectivity transformed my dating life. Instead of trying to win over every woman I met, I focused on identifying women who aligned with my standards. This confidence and selectivity made me much more attractive because women could sense that my attention and affection weren't given cheaply. The citadel also provides protection during difficult times. When facing rejection, criticism, or challenges, you remain centered because your worth isn't dependent on external validation. This emotional stability is incredibly attractive because it creates safety for others. How the two words work together. When you combine inner and citadel, you create something powerful. A man who is complete within himself, yet strong enough to protect and provide for others. This combination addresses the two deepest needs women have in relationships: security and excitement. The inner work provides the excitement, the depth, complexity, and authenticity that keeps women engaged and curious about who you are. The citadel provides the security, their reliability, strength, and protection that makes women feel safe to be vulnerable with you. Most men only develop one side. They either work on inner development but lack boundaries and strength, or they build walls and standards but lack depth and authenticity. The magic happens when you develop both simultaneously. I experienced this integration when I met Emma. Our first conversation lasted 4 hours because I was genuinely curious about her thoughts and experiences, inner work, creating authentic connection. But when she tested my boundaries by being flirtatious with other men to see how I'd react, I remained calm and simply said, "I'm looking for someone who's focused on building something meaningful together." Citadel maintaining standards. She later told me, "You're the first man I've met who was both interesting enough to hold my attention and strong enough to earn my respect." That's the power of the inner citadel. It creates both attraction and respect, excitement and security, depth and strength. Practical application. Building your inner citadel isn't about changing who you are. It's about becoming who you're meant to be. Here's how to start. Daily inner work. Spend time in reflection, understanding your values and motivations. Practice emotional regulation through meditation or journaling. Set goals based on your authentic desires, not. Regularly assess whether your actions align with your principles. Establishing your citadel. Define your non-negotiable values and standards. Practice maintaining boundaries with kindness but firmness. Learn to say no to things that don't align with your principles. Develop the courage to walk away from situations that compromise your standards. Integration in relationships. Be authentically curious about women while maintaining your standards. Share your depth and complexity while protecting your core values. Offer emotional strength and reliability while continuing to grow personally. Create safety for others while never compromising your own integrity. The beautiful thing about this approach is that it's sustainable. You're not performing or pretending. You're simply becoming the best version of yourself, and that authentic strength is what creates lasting attraction. So there they are, the two words that changed everything for me. Inner citadel. Not because they're magic words that hypnotize women, but because they represent the two fundamental aspects of masculine strength that women have always found irresistible. The inner work makes you genuinely interesting, a man with depth, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. The citadel makes you genuinely strong, a man with principles, boundaries, and unshakable character. Together they create the kind of man women not only want to be with, but want to stay with, because you offer both the excitement of someone who continues to grow and surprise them and the security of someone they can depend on no matter what. Marcus Aurelius understood something that modern dating culture has forgotten. True attraction isn't about tricks or techniques. It's about character. It's about becoming the kind of person that naturally draws others toward you because of who you are, not what you do. The inner citadel isn't built overnight. It's the work of a lifetime. But every day you invest in strengthening your inner self and clarifying your principles, you become more attractive, not just to women, but to all high-quality people who value depth and authenticity. Start today. Begin with small acts of self-reflection and boundary setting. Notice how it changes, not just how women respond to you, but how you feel about yourself. Because ultimately, that's what this is really about. Becoming someone you're proud to be. If this video resonated with you, subscribe for more content on building genuine masculine strength through ancient wisdom. Comment below about your experience with inner work and boundary setting. I want to hear your stories. Remember, you don't need to convince anyone to choose you when you become the kind of man worth choosing. The citadel awaits. Start building.